What exactly is a real estate novelist?
Well, it's a guy who's a real estate broker who's trying to write the great American novel. So I made him a real estate novelist.
Didn't have time for the wife because he's working on the great American novel.
Right.
Billy Joel breaking down the lyrics to Piano Man when he invited us to the East End of his native Long Island, New York this summer for a conversation about 50 years of famous songs. Our year of Sunday Sit-Downs began back in early January with the delightful Emily Blunt, who was nominated for an Academy Award shortly after our conversation. So yes, we are taking partial credit. I had the pleasure again this year of sitting down for in-depth conversations with some of the most talented people on the planet. From the hottest new acts in music to the legends, the biggest stars in Hollywood, and the boys of late-night comedy. Here now, our year of Sunday Sit-Downs.
Willie,
Such a pleasure to meet you.
Such a pleasure to meet you, too.
Hi.
It's so nice to see you.
Geist.
My entire family is watching right now. They love your show.
Willie!
You did it.
This is crazy. You know that song, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere? Oh, that's for real.
Yeah, it's a great mix of wholesome and illegal activities here in Washington Square Park.
Hey, you look like that Hugh Grant. No offense. I did take offense.
And it's a great day to be alive.
I remember walking behind a dude, he had a boombox, he was playing Slick Rick, and I was like, this is the greatest city in the world.
Is Piano Man the song, when you look out at the crowd, is that when they get the most unified in their singing?
Yes, everybody's singing along. I'll watch people in the crowd, they know the lyrics, so I'm following them.
Your concerts have been described as a party, but in some ways I think that kind of undersells a little bit. It's community, isn't it?
It's an easy way out to describe
Yeah.
it. If it was just a party, you know, we wouldn't have families bringing their kids here.
What is it like, having played for $50 with chicken wire around the stage, to walk out at Madison Square Garden?
I was emotional before there was a soul in the building, and then you sell it out with souls. I'm big on telling people that this isn't a ticket stub, this is a story.
How do you go home after a show and just sit in a chair and have a snack and watch Netflix or something?
Yeah, I go home, take out the garbage. You go from playing in front of 20,000 people, and then you jump into a car and you scram out of there, and then you're just another schmuck in traffic.
I got my tight pants. I got my tight pants on.
So that came to you in a dream, tight pants?
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that sad?
You got a weird brain.
I know, I wish, why can't I guess the lottery numbers or who's gonna win the World Series or something?
I had a whole encounter with this woman in Washington, D.C. She was convinced I was Matt Damon.
Did you go with it?
Yes, I didn't want to let her down.
She's gonna get home and someone's gonna finally tell her.
Oh, I know.
That's Chris Pine.
Yeah, I know.
Did your dream begin when you first sat in front of a piano at 7 years old?
Yeah, I was able to unlock a world that I had no idea what doors it would be able to take me through.
I couldn't help myself. When the music started, I ran up on stage and tap danced with the band as best I could. Crowd went wild.
You never forget that.
Oh, you never forget your first laugh, your first applause.
When I heard that applause, oh my goodness gracious. It was like main line, oh my God, I gotta have it, applause.
It took a long time for me to cook, to figure out what it was that I could maybe offer to any professional institution of any kind.
Well, there was a moment where I actually was going to stop because I thought it didn't make sense anymore.
You have to just continue to tell yourself that you're sort of the underdog in the story, and eventually it's going to lead to a big game.
I bet on myself now. I bet on myself. I believe that if there's ever a time for me to make that jump, it's now.
I don't want to be a guy ever who's sitting at a dinner party saying, if I had done that. I want to go find out.
I'm flying, Jack.
You look at the call sheet, your pickup time might be, 3:50 a.m. or 4:10 a.m. It's like having a secret. I have my little coffee in my thermos, I'm running my lines. Who else gets to do this?
What's the gig, Stephen, where you go, okay, I'm gonna be all right?
I remember when it looked like the Colbert Report was gonna go, like it was gonna last. And I was like, I can't believe how lucky I am. Not only am I doing this thing that I love, but I get to do it in the place that I love.
I knew I was in the right place when my field producer called back saying, hey, Oliver's just been hurt. And their first response was it on camera? And And he said, yeah. They said, is it funny? And he said, very. And they went, okay, great. Send the tape home, take him to hospital.
Men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way. Suddenly you're being told you're a romantic lead. That took a lot of adjustments for me.
What does this have to do with us leaving?
Everything. Any actor, I will tell you, and I'm sure has told you, that for some reason we prefer being bad guys.
Like Miss Hannigan and Annie, she wasn't nice, but I loved playing her.
Why any kid would want to be an orphan is beyond me.
I'm doing this character, Larry, who is really me, but a me who can't really be in society.
It's cute, right?
No, not really. I'd be arrested or beaten up every day.
No, this is your Bebe Jocelyn and an artistic cradle robber. I am not.
People try to imitate that character. The mistake most people make is being consistent. Eugene would have to remind me. I would lose it. He'd say, what's your favorite movie? And I'd go, The Aviator.
Do you remember the first time you saw yourself in the mirror?
Yeah, it was surreal. This woman we've been thinking of and imagining now exists.
Wake up! It is Strauss.
There are people who are talking about your performance in a way that could win awards next year. Is that?
Do you see me like is like for the British, that is like, oh.
I like to make my guests deeply uncomfortable.
Good, you did.
You knew you'd crack me, Geist. Got it.
That's the most impressive journalism I've seen in my entire life.
I think you know my story better than I know my story.
Don't get me started, Mr. Geist. Don't get me started.
Are those the pinch me moments where you go, oh my gosh?
Oh my God. Dream come true, ridiculousness.
The fact that this has happened to me is miraculous. I can't even believe it.
I would say I dreamed about it, but that'd be a lie. I wasn't brave enough to dream this big.
Do you consider the impact your music has had over these 50 years?
People will point out, oh my God, back in this year, that was a big song for me. And like, you were listening to me? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm as lost as you are.
The magic of music is that it can live forever. What do I got? I've got a wife and family that love me. I got a band that believe in me. I've had a good life. Got what I want because I got what I need. That's legendary.
Your legacy, not just in comedy, but in American culture, is blank. How would you answer?
People may forget what you said, forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. So I'm hoping that I made them feel good at times when they were down. They needed a laugh.
What a year. I am grateful to all of my guests for their time and their willingness to be so open with me, and to their teams for getting us together. Special recognition goes to our unmatched Sunday Today team of talented bookers, producers, crews, editors, and directors who make these interviews sing every week. It is a privilege and a joy to work with all of you. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sunday Sit Down podcast to hear the full extended interviews with all of our guests this year and into the next. There is always much, much more there than we can fit into the TV version. You can find our conversations wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC, or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.